Hi everybody, this is Tan from Binjing International School. Today I'll be showing you a presentation called Words That Matter. It's teaching kids how to use academic vocabulary. I'm going to switch my screens over so that you can see I have a little presentation. And then here it is. Okay, Words That Matter. I think of vocabulary instruction as a tiered system. And words have different weight, and we choose the ones that tip the academic scale for students. That's what tier means. And the things that tip the scale is like the frequency of the words and how they're used across content areas. So let's take three examples. We have a tree, photosynthesis, and vary. For tree, it's actually a tier 1 word because it's a concrete, these are concrete nouns or verbs. For example, instead of a tree, I might say cut, and it's pretty easy to show the action of cut. It's learned socially. I can point to a tree. If I'm teaching a student, I can Google image a tree, or I can just point to an image and say tree. And so it's pretty easy to teach. It doesn't require ongoing instruction. Those things are tier 1 words. Other tier 1 words are people, look, water, and write. Now, these words can be found on a Fry's 100 word list. I've posted it on this page for you on the bottom notes so that you can look at them if you need to. I also posted the article on how to understand tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 words on this website, so you can go to it. It's on my blog. You can look for it. It's article number 16. Photosynthesis is a tier 3 word. I'll skip tier 2 in just a second, but photosynthesis, there are words that are tier 3 words just like photosynthesis, and they're characterized because as abstract. It's really difficult to describe the word photosynthesis just by pointing at it. It requires lots of conversation, lots of discussion. It happens infrequently. When was the last time you said photosynthesis in a sentence or a tweet or a chat? It's also content specific. It only happens basically in science. It doesn't happen in art. And it requires ongoing instruction. It takes the science teacher and the English teacher time to teach photosynthesis over several days and through several examples. Other words are crescendo, hypothesis, supply and demand. These are all tier 3 words because this happens in music, this happens in science only, and then supply and demand only happens in humanities and economics. On Article 18, teaching context-specific vocabulary words, I actually gave a very specific example of how to teach tier 3 words on my blog. Tier 2 words are the words that we really want to focus on, such as the word vary, because they are abstract, yes, just like tier 3 words, but they occur frequently in academic writing. So the word vary can occur in many different contexts. And it's used across all disciplines, from art, science, history, design, you name it, they've used the word vary. And it's ongoing direct instruction. Other words such tier 2 words are affect, consist, maintain, and contribute. These again are characteristics or three tier 2 words because of these. Where do you get tier 2 words? You can get them, I linked it on the notes on the bottom, and you will go to something called Academic Word List by Coxhead, and she's a professor in Australia, and she found, she analyzed literature, she analyzed academic texts, she analyzed professional writing, and she said these are the words that occur most frequently, and she even categorized of that list the words that happen the most frequently. So these are like these are some of them. You can go to them. But now, how do you teach tier 2 words? I have a system that I use Google Docs to teach, and I'm going to go through the system with you. I have a little PowerPoint for each word, and I only teach 3 words a day because I want to leave the rest of the time for instruction. And vocabulary is best done in context. So here is example of a question that I might ask students. You are packing for a trip to the beach. What does your bag consist of for this trip? So that is a tier 2 word used in a sentence with an embedded context. So what I do is then I explain my answer, and it has an image to help them understand. I always put an image because ELs, or students, actually are very visual, and it helps them understand the vocabulary words. Then it's their turn, and I gave them a little sentence starter. The bag should consist of blank because. So now this is their turn to use the vocabulary word in context because they have to explain it. So we answer with the target word used in context. So now I have students partner together. One person says, this is my idea, and they answer using this sentence starter. And then the other student shares. Then they take turns writing down each other's sentence. So let's say that this is Jessica's writing. This is Jessica's idea. Well, Paul's going to write Jessica's idea, and Jessica is going to write Paul's idea down. So that teaches that teaches listening skills. This is an actual example done about 2 weeks ago from Jessica. So she listened to Paul, and she wrote down what Paul said in the little discussion, the little turn and talk. The bag should consist of towel because I can get wet. Now I just want to show you that there are principles versus practices. I recommend that you follow my principles, and I'll show you what they are in a minute, instead of the practices. Because it's kind of like Starbucks and McCafe. They provide similar services, but the outcome is significantly different. We don't really say, I'm going to go to McDonald's to get an espresso coffee. They're going to say, let's hang out at Starbucks to get an espresso coffee. It's because McCafe tries to imitate the practices but ignores the principle. So what are the principles of language instruction, of vocabulary instruction? One, it's direct instruction. We provide context for students just like this. Like in my PowerPoint strategy, you have a little question that asks them to think, that uses the word. And then you have them engage with the word that requires them to say the word aloud, or think about the word, or write about the word. And you have an image. And initially you have multiple exposures. So I'll do this one day, and then I'll do another one, and I actually have a set of, for every word, I have a set of 14 slides. So we'll go with the word consists, and we'll study it for 14 days in a cycle. So this practice, teaching tier 2 words, is also in another article, article 17, which is again posted on the bottom of these notes. It's called Words That Make a Difference. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Okay, thank you. Bye.